this. Hello! Welcome, dancers, to the Los Angeles Bellydance Academy. Let me see if I am with you. Yes, here I am. So I'm Stefanya, and I want to welcome all of you to the Los Angeles Bellydance Academy. We are in the studio this morning with Jeff, and we're very privileged to have him accompanying the class, so we can give him a little round of applause even before we start, and we'll finish off at the end. During your belly dance class, it is a requirement that you keep your own body safe. So this means listen to your body and proceed at your own risk. Belly dance is very low impact, but I will give you some tips and techniques that will help you find that proper alignment in your body and help you feel really good. So I think we're probably about ready to get started. We're going to have our feet absolutely parallel. And parallel just means your toes are pointed straight forward. When your toes are pointed straight forward, you want to squeeze your inner thighs. Where are your inner thighs? Where your inner thighs are just right here, easy to find by the fingertips. You're going to squeeze those muscles together in your legs. And let's say over time, we learn to squeeze our tushy less. So we want to squeeze in the bottom less and squeeze in the legs more. In the beginning, you may just clench up all those muscles, which is absolutely fine. You're welcome to do that, and as you create your practice, you'll get better and better. So here we are parallel. Jeffrey is going to start with a wonderful Maksu, and I hope that you enjoy your breathing. Let's go.
fine? You're okay now? That probably sounds a lot better. I have the YouTube going, so I'll remember that for next time. Okay, we should be better on the sound. Better? Good. Perfect from everybody.
All right, dancers. So today's lesson is going to focus around traveling steps, but we're going to warm up the whole body from head to toe. So let's start at the bottom by getting down in that really deep plie and pulling the belly button into the spine so that we have a nice flat back. All right. We're going to go into our hips. Here we go. A little bit softer than, like, not your full, yeah. And up on one side, right, left. We lift it up by pushing down into the floor, double time. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10. Make sure those movements are moving up to the shoulders. Let's try again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, middle thumbs. Thumbs up is okay. We're here together? Good. Good. So, when I say straight legs, I don't mean that they have to be so straight that they're locked to the back. They just need to be up, and your posture needs to feel on top instead of down below and pleating. When you have your arms forward, please put them to the diagonal so you can ensure that you can tighten the lats. And here we go. We're going to swing to the side, slide to the side, and just push the lat down on that side. 5, 6, 7, we go. Push, through 2. Push, through 2. Push, and 2. Push, now singles. Lock it down, lock it down. 1 and 2. My shoulder pushes down on top of my hips. 3, 1, 2, pull. 1, 2, pull. Excellent. Keep your shoulders in place. Faster. 1 and 2 and 4, 5, 6, 7. Perfect. Here we go. 1 and 2 and 3 and faster. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. One more time. And slow is big and long and fast. Short is smaller. Excellent. So out, pull back. Crescent shape. Crescent shape. Little pull back. Away. 1, 2. Little pull. Bring it forward. Little pull back. Bring it forward. Excellent. Again. And 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1. Other side. And front and front and front and front and front. Same exercise. I'm going to give you a side view. I go out, in, into the back, out, forward, to the front, out, pull back, press it towards the back, and push it forward. Good. So we're still just warming up as fast as we can because we're going to get to those movement steps. So we did our slide, and we just added to the front and the back a little pull, and that's going to give us our full hip circles. Once we go through that real fast, then we're going to go into slide and twist. The twist happens here with the straight legs, and I'm going to add a slide to that. So I have a little twist and then slide and twist and then slide, or maybe slide and then twist. We'll see how it turns out. Maestro. Full circles first. We go 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2. Pull 1, 2, other side, and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2. I'm over on the dunes. Goes do tag. understand those positions, that the foot is in the middle, almost by the ankle. And I think this is really important. Try not to put the foot way out in front. Really get that foot under the hip, because when you push straight down, the hip is going to get a little lift up right there. And that's what we're looking for. So, just to be very clear, this leg is absolutely straight, and that straightness continues all the way up this line of the body. Structure and straightness in one side gives you loose and gooey in the other. So we want to make sure we're not making both sides loose, if that makes sense, right? So, strong supporting leg, we're going to work in the working leg by pushing down to get the hip to come up. And when you want the hip to go down, you just do the easy thing, which is release. Downwards. 5, 6, 7, we push. Down the hip, relax. Down the hip, relax. Down the hip, relax. Very nice. Dancers faster. Up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. Let's do the other side. We switch position. Up and down. This is your time to remind yourself there's a straight line on the working side. And very fine. Get out of the mindset that this is going to happen in the chest, because we'll say that's a little too much cheater for a beginner class. You can cheat all you want when you're just the way you want to be. But for right now, we'll go for the authentic movement when it relates to Rakshaki style, right? So these movements are focused in the pelvis. You can kind of tell that's all we've been doing so far is moving the hips. So I'm going to try to keep my chest in general in the same spot, and I'm going to really look for the back end of this movement to be the special part. Forward is always the relax. It's just getting back into a very comfortable, natural position, not expanded, not tweaked or anything. Just weight on the balls of the toes, feeling neutral, and then exhale, pulling that one back. Breathing in, weight on the balls of the toes, breathe in, breathe in, breathe in, and exhale, back, 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 back. Good. Breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. Just a real quick note, when we do the reverse, all you have to do is reverse the movement. Breathe out first as you go back, and breathe in second as you come forward. Breathe out first, and in. Now on this one, I think you can really focus on the plie a little bit more. Yes, kind of creates that circular, I would think of it kind of like a little choo-choo train. Yeah, probably think about it too much like a choo-choo train. But here's the notion when you do the other side. Some people, instead of going, when we went reverse, we went down, back, up, and we were doing like the basement level, if you know what I mean. Sometimes engage of the spine or the diaphragm that you will eventually get. There's like 100% here, there's 50% here, and there's this little 25 kind of, and I'm talking about engaging of the muscles, like they're not completely crunched into, rigor. They're not overworking, but they're supporting a posture in your body that you find really important. So we're going to use that diaphragm space just to make that feel really, really good. So as you are holding it at the 25, now we're going to express that energy even deeper. Boom, and now release. Up, and now release, and up. So we'll call this chest movement, dancers, but what I really want to see from you, the most important part of that movement, what I want to see is the belly button release. So take a few seconds, just breathe in and out. I want you to feel that going on in there. What does it feel like to breathe? In and out, in and out. Suck it in, let it go. Suck it in, let it go. Right? All right. I bet you got that. So, just a little bit with Jeff's dooms. When we do the double, I don't want you to go up to the top twice. When we do doubles, I want you to find middle spot, and then the full spot, and then middle spot, and then the down spot. Sometimes when we dance, we just use our imagination. So if your body isn't 100% following your direction, stay very clear in your mind as if you can imagine it, then eventually it will happen, right? So we'll get there with those movements. Feet firmly on the floor, we're pushing down, up, and then relax the belly. Up, relax, up, relax, up, relax again. Up, breathe in, breathe out. Arms nice and strong. Up, up. Go faster, just up, relax, up, relax, up, relax, up, relax. 2, up, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up. 10 more times, smile. Make sure your spine is straight. Don't lean back, 'cause it won't work. Set it up tall and down, up, and down. Woo! Good job. Yeah, we're not going to warm up that one much more. Just remind yourself that those arms need to be reaching forward. Any side arms will tell the upper body to lean back. That means your psoas is contracted at the tight instead of having that engagement all the way down into where it connects to the femur. So remember, it's so much better. Remember, boom, 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 boom. Remember, boom, boom, lights flashing, sign that says remember, right? Bring your shoulders further forward. As a mistake, don't ever make this mistake. Why? Why, you say? Why can't I make that mistake? Because look at my back. That's a mistake that we can't make up from. Contracting or making those vertebrae, compacted in the back. It's so much better to actually just dance with your body more forward, even though it may not feel intuitive. That would be a little secret that I would suggest you find out. So, in dance words, or in belly dance words, we mess it up all the time because we call this stuff chest. Here's my chest, right? We know that. Here's the chest. But what part of my body am I using? I'm using more of the middle of my body. We would never call this our chest, would we? No. But we use this part to create chest movements, right? Just the same as the hips. We use muscles in our legs to move our hip bones around, and we call them hip movements, but really those are leg and foot movements, if we want to be clear. So just remember you're working low in the body. The muscles here that you're looking at, diaphragm, psoas, and lats, right? Right now we're moving on to our lats. Lats lock down and move the chest side to side. We can do a vertical lat movement, which is very common in some classical Indian dance styles. But what we're going to do is we're going to just give ourselves a little bit of an extra inch and allow the weight change at the same time. So that's actually already a layer, but because you guys are doing so good, I know you can find that layer. So if you're new for this, maybe opening up the legs to the shoulder, or maybe a little bit further is fine. practicing a long time and you want to work on your technique, bring your feet closer so that you can really work on that weight change. Just to say it one more time, if I don't weight change, this would be a vertical movement of the shoulders, and we're not using that right now. Maybe later we might use it for some shoulders, some arms, but right now we want that whole chest like a slide, a shelf. It slides to the side and slides to the side. So I have to use my lats and my weight change. My arms to the front, maybe sliding forward, and two, and one, and two. Good. This is so easy. I want you to work those lats. Those lats are so important for balance. Yes. And twist. Yes. 6, 7. Double time. Goes down and down and down and down. Push through the floor. Moving faster means you're connected to the earth. Go slow, slow, quick, quick, slow, slow, slow. Okay. Turbo speed we go. Slow, slow, quick, quick, slow. Quick, quick, slow. Quick, quick, slow. Forward, go. Up, up, up. Up, up, up. Up, up, up. Good. So with the slide, slide, lift, slide. We can make a circle. Slide, lift, slide, and weight change. Exhale, inhale. Exhale, double time. Go up and down. Breathe in, breathe out. Don't lean back. If anything, lean a little forward. Slower. 1, and 2, and 1, and 2, and 1, and 2, and 1. Other side. 1, 2, 1, 2. Slow. Do it. Keep smiling, breathing. Smooth. Push to the floor and relax. Push to the floor and relax. Push to the floor and relax. Push. Double time. Goes up and up. Up and up. Up. Keep up and up and up. Perfect. When you go up, concentrate on the down. So when you go to the faster speed, throw it to the side and then push down. Throw down. Throw down. Gotta get some momentum when we go fast, right? And that's what I think is really special about Bellydance. The speed at which you go, your muscles react to the movement differently. You cannot do the same muscle action inside of every tempo, right? So that's why we practice the slow tempo. It's methodical. You gotta go through those rough spots. You gotta find where your body feels like it's, hitting a brick wall, and you gotta breathe into it and really stretch it out, make it stronger. As we start to go to the fastest, it's like throwing a ball at a wall and waiting for it to come back. Throw, 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 throw. You gotta get that momentum, that kind of, sometimes you flick water off your hand. Yeah, throw it out there. I don't know. Anyway, so now let's do our twisty, twisty, twisty. So still those twists are happening below my shirt, right? We'll call them shoulder twists. Shoulders inside the shirt, but the muscles below where my shirt is right now is going to create a twist. In fact, the muscle that creates the twist is cutting down the center of my body and connecting to the front of my femur, which is pretty spectacular. So I'm going to use the pull on my legs to get this movement in the front. So be very careful if you feel disconnect, disconnect, disconnect. No disconnecting, right? The shoulder blade should not push forward. The other thing that I would be looking for as your teacher in front of you, if I can see all of you, that I don't want to see your shoulder move up towards your earlobe, right? I know that your shoulders need to be a part of the back, and essentially, we don't call this move trunk twist, however we should. This is the trunk of your body, and the whole trunk of your body is creating a twist. Squeeze those inner thighs, put those feet parallel, and let's give it a try. Here you go. 5, 6 feet twist on the 1 and 2. We have 2 and 2 and 2. Your posture's forward, not back. Faster. 2, 1 and 2, 1 and 2. We're going to make a rhythm of 3 goes. Right, left, right, left, right, left. 1, 2, 3.
cut through the complication and talk about the number 1, the number 2, and the number 3, and the number 4. That's going to be easy, right? Everybody feels right now they can handle that. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, you did this every moment of the day. Ones, you've done it every moment of the day. All we do is from right to left, to right to left. In dance words, you could call that walk. You could call that march, right? It means that the weight, technically, it means that the weight has gone all the way through the foot and you switch to the other side. Now, when you studied at the Los Angeles Bellydance Academy, which I should have told you to do already, and you can join us online because we have a website for members only, when you do this, one of the lessons that we think is really important at the studio is just the pushing from the back leg onto the front leg and switch. We counted that in 4s. 1, 2, 3, switch 4. 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 Try that a couple times around your space, your space dancers. I know that seems like, why would I do that? That seems pretty easy. But inside the technique, you want to pretend like your feet are almost like Velcro, and that you're working the inner line of your foot. Where's the inner line? It's by the big toe, the second toe, and back. So don't let your foot wobble out to the pinky toe because that's where you're unbalanced. We want to put the heel on the floor and push from the back foot as if it was a piece of Velcro, switching the weight from one foot to the next. Very precise. And I want you to feel that balance in your inner thighs. So just a couple of walks around the space. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then you remember your alignment. And then you find how this is all about balance, right? So I know we all need to work on balance. So if anybody wants to know what you're doing walking around your house like this, you just tell them, okay, I'm working on my balance, so leave me be. We have plenty of time for that. That move will come up, this leg hip, when we go into the hip, will be super important. But here I'm just talking about number 1. There's your first exercise for number 1. The other thing about number 1 is that you can do number 1 funky style. I know I'm going to embarrass myself, but that's my funky, right? You got to get funky. Get down there. And so if we want to start kind of understanding how to embellish a single movement, we're going to kick it to the back. So Jeff is going to give us some dooms. And before the doom, I'm going to have, it's kind of like it's slow. So I have extra time to go, and doom, tack, tack, doom, tack, doom, tack, tack, doom, tack. I might use this little walk maybe in a mouth or maybe on like a different rhythm. But for today, we're just kind of experimenting with the booty kick and the kick to the floor. It has to have energy. And 1, and 2, and 1, and 2. My knees are together. We can also call that the Beyonce walk if we really kicked it forward. Call it Beyonce. But we're not quite Beyonce because we don't need to take that big step forward. It's almost all back. And back, back, back. We'll just go with Jeff a couple times. Let's do the shoulder shimmy so we can practice our layer. Here it is. 5, 6, 7, goes and do, and do, and do, and do, and do. All do it towards the back. And do, and do, and do, and do. One more time. Towards the back we go. Perfect. So that really helps us match up with our dooms, and we love that. Of course, we could take double time steps, but we're slowing it down. Now, single step without the booty kick. We're going to move it from the shoulders to the hips. I'm still going to be walking on just doom, 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 doom. But now, instead of getting the timing in the shoulders, I'm going to find that extra timing, the layer in the hip. So, go back to the first exercise that we had. I want you to dig the heel into the floor, and as you propel yourself Your front knee is bent and you press one through the heel, one through the toe. And then you switch. Heel, toe. So I got two squeezes, which means I gotta have a lot of relax. Relax, squeeze, relax, squeeze, relax, squeeze, relax, squeeze, relax, squeeze, 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 squeeze. Heel, toe, heel, toe, heel, toe, heel, toe. Sound fair? We'll do it with Jeff a couple times. I'll go straight down towards the camera, and then I'll just turn around and head back so you get to see it in both directions. Danced for the first time in middle school. Jeff and I can do that. What do? You kind of swing back and forth, and then there's like this little pause that you do to catch your balance. And you step, and there's a little pause that you do to catch your balance. Now, call that step touch. Step touch. Step is on the 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. That's the Western way of doing it. Maybe that's the aerobic way of doing it. Step, tap, step, tap. We're focusing on the 2 beat, which is not what we focus on in Arabic music. In the Arabic music, we focus on the 1, doom, tech, doom, tech. So all we do is we don't step first, we just touch. I know this is tricky, and then we step. Touch, step, touch, step. It's the same movement, but the beginning happens differently. Touch, step, touch, step, touch, step. And when we do that touch, we add the hip and then step. Add the hip and then step. Add the hip and then step. Add the hip and step. Doom, tech, tech, doom, tech. That's our funnest and favorite. Here we go. So we did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now here's the new timing. 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 5 and 6, 7 and 8. The reason why that is important is because that helps us hit our dooms. So give me one moment. Go ahead and play with it, Jeff. We hear those dooms. And we're getting ready. 5, 6 feet after step. 1, 2,
think. Right, left, right. Now pull this hip back. Left, left, twist. Right, twist. Left, left, twist. So it looks like I'm kind of swirling my figure 8 forward. Be careful, if you think forward, you won't be feeling it. What do you always do in dance? You do opposition. So as you step forward with, let's just call it leg A, leg B pulls back, 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 back. Yes, I kind of skipped over the little unswivel, but the unswivel will be natural. So you'll just do it because you're smiling and breathing.
If you and then you hold. Tiki-taka, 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 ha! Tiki-taka, 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 tiki-taka. So this is all pretty basic math, right? I took 4, I divided it in half, and I had 2, and then I felt really smart. So, ta-da! Just 6. 1, 2, 1, back. 1, 2, 1, and 4. Right? Back. Other side. Hey! Good. We use that middle foot as a jump back to the doom. Doomateka, 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 dooma hold. Doomateka, doomateka. So when I'm on that downstage leg, even if I was here, doomateka, doomateka, doomateka. You gotta hear those dooms. You gotta feel those dooms. Right? Let's see. Count it out. We did 4s, which turned yes. When the 4 turns into a 2, and we turn that into like a step together, it's still a part of a stepping, like a one phrase. But now I do what we call saunter, which is probably the best move and the best foot step that we have. Nobody goes to the grocery, well maybe now we do because we have to wait in line. But you did before go to the grocery store and walk around step together, right? You just thought, okay, this is the most efficient way to walk, so I pass my body all the way through. But when we're dancing, we don't need movement efficiency. We're not going anywhere. We want to allow people to observe. So when I step together, I'm giving more of the observation time to my audience, right? It's not a human being step. It's well, it's not a step with an agenda for sure. I don't really know where to go. I'm just, maybe gonna just hang out around this space here for a while. Excellent. So we think of that as step together. Step together step. Step together step. It is not a 2-step because I didn't utilize the touch of my foot. Okay, so we'll call 2 steps where it actually takes 2 movement on the foot to create get off, I want to give you one suggestion. Stop moving. Take a deep breath so you start to listen again and go back inside your music. The problem is that we are not separate from the music that we're dancing to. We have to become one with it. But if you're not listening, you just take that moment to just clear everything out, settle, and start listening again. So here's it. Just improvisation. Up as you wish. Whatever you want, you gotta find something you wanna dance. Today the lesson was movement steps, traveling steps, so I hope that you became a little bit more clear on that. Let me know if you have any questions, and join us at the Los Angeles Bellydance Academy.com. Thank you, dancers. Thank you, Jeff.